In the next few minutes, I'm going to teach you how to get other people, and especially women, to do whatever you want them to do for you. Psychological manipulation, when used correctly, is a powerful tool to influence the people around you. However, it is important to understand in advance that this manipulation will have a positive effect on your relationship with that person. For this reason, it is absolutely not a moral misstep to win over your fellow people by using the following tactics. The first thing to note is that we do not punish other people's bad behavior, but rather reward their acting in our best interest. This is called positive reinforcement, and if used correctly will make your fellow people, and especially a girl in your life, act out of their own interest to satisfy your desires and expectations. This psychological behavior is about withdrawing your attention from a girl if she doesn't act the way you want her to or the dynamic is not accepted by her the way you want it to be. However, don't be the abusive boyfriend who shouts at or hits his girl because she doesn't act the way he wants her to. Such behavior is not only incredibly pathetic, but also much more ineffective than strategically withdrawing one's attention. People do not learn from punishment, and they will always resent you if you try to punish them. Instead, they learn through positive reinforcement, love, praise and kindness. What the method is about now, is to reward the person's behavior that you like and that triggers positive emotions within you with love and kindness. If a person does something good for you, reward him for it. If the opposite is the case, withdraw your attention. Especially females crave external attention immensely, which is why this method is so effective. This approach has been known in psychology for a long time, but it is the correct execution that most people fail at. First of all, we need to understand what the reward is that we give to the person when he acts the way we want him to. The reward we can give to our fellow human beings is praise, attention, and the feeling of importance. These are the things we all crave and which are increasingly rare in our modern world where everyone thinks only of themselves and the sense of community fades further and further into the background. Now, when your girl does or says something that you like and would like to see more of, reward her right after the action or the spoken words with your attention, a praise, or just a smile. Now I will demonstrate this psychological tactic with a practical example. Suppose you are talking to a girl and you have seen her maybe once or twice. You text her a suggestion to go out for a meal or a drink, but she doesn't have time and texts you that she has to work that day. If you were a simp, you would now suggest another day, because you would really like to see her and you know that she is also interested in you and not just stalling. However, you are smarter than that, and withdraw your attention after her message. You know that she would have definitely accepted another date suggestion, but you still decide not to give her another one and leave the chat for the time being. She didn't give you the answer you wanted to hear from her, because we both know that it would have been her job to make a counter-proposal after the rejection. It is very simple. Whenever she does something that you do not like, strictly withdraw your attention. You may be wondering exactly in what situations you should do this, or when you know she is not acting upon your interest, and this question is easily answered. Pay attention to your feelings. Whenever she triggers negative emotions within you, she has crossed that line and you should withdraw your attention. Your intuition knows you better than you know yourself and has developed through evolution over millions of years. You must learn to trust it again and not let social conditioning or other influencing factors fool you into believing otherwise. Whenever you are left with a bad gut feeling after a text message from her or something she said in person, put that knowledge into action. Consistently withdraw your attention and you will be amazed at how her behavior towards you will improve more and more. Assuming, of course, that she is genuinely interested in you or even already has an emotional attachment to you. In our practical example, sooner or later she would text you again and suggest a date for a meeting, since you haven't responded to her rejection with a single word. After she has taken this step towards you, give her your full attention again and be nice and charming to her. Don't resent her misstep by confronting her or nagging her. Think of it like a business relationship. If she does what you want, you are ready to sit down and negotiate. If not, you are not. Be mature and rational about it. Most young men don't even know what it's like to have the girl do the work for them, ask them out, and actively build up intimacy. That's because most men are so addicted to female affection that they can't bear to create any unnecessary tension between the two of you. But this very tension would turn the whole tables for them and finally get them the relationship dynamic they've always wanted, where their girl is not only cooperative, but even takes quite a few steps towards him. So, if you want to experience this, start conditioning people. It sounds bad or manipulative, but it's really not. You are just strengthening the behavior you want to see in other people. Think of a man with high socioeconomic status and imagine his behavior. He doesn't let anyone treat him badly and spends his time only with people who are pleasant to him. This man uses exactly the described method, with the only difference that he does it subconsciously. He never learned it or consciously behaved this way, solely because he didn't have to. This man, through the right upbringing, has a high self-respect, and allows only people and girls with the best behavior to enter his life. Now that we have cleared that up, let me give you a bonus tip to master the method of positive reinforcement. Use the effect of the variable ratio schedule. The idea is to hand out the reward not every time, but only sometimes, just like a casino. This means not giving a reward in the form of attention or praise every time to the people you are trying to condition, but sometimes pretending that their behavior is obvious to you and that you expect it from them. This makes this method much more effective, as the variable ratio schedule effect, which is used in casinos, is applied here on an interpersonal basis. If you were to win at the casino every time you sat at the slot machine, you would get bored relatively quickly without the psychological influence of winning money. Knowing that sometimes you might get lucky and win the big jackpot makes the whole thing much more emotionally exciting and can really pull you into an emotional addiction. So don't reward your fellow people every time and make it seem more like a game of luck. This will especially tempt the girls in your life to constantly chase that emotional high.